Sunarta from Udayana University, and all participants in international seminar. Welcome to the hybrid seminar held in commemoration of 38th anniversary of Faculty of Tourism of Udayana University with the topic Emerging Innovative Approach to Accelerate the Future of Tourism Industry and Education. I'm honored to be standing here today to talk about the emerging innovative approach that can accelerate the future of tourism industry and education. The tourism industry has been an integral part of our economy, providing not only jobs but also culture exchange and the personal growth for travelers. However, with the advent of technology and the rise of sustainable tourism, the industry is rapidly improving. One of the most exciting developments in the tourism industry is the use of virtual and augmented reality with the ability of provide realistic experience of travel and tourism. Without physically being there, virtual and augmented reality can be revolution the way we learn about different culture and destination. Artificial intelligence and the big data are also playing a crucial role in the future of the tourism industry. Our chatbot can provide 24 or 7 customer service to travel, answering their query and providing them with tailored recommendation based on their interests and preferences. Big data can be used to analyze travel pattern and provide insight that can help tourism industry to personal experience for tourists. Sustainable tourism is another area that gaining momentum with the increasing awareness of the effect of tourism on environment. Sustainable tourism has become a key focus for the industry. They include initiatives such as reducing carbon footprints, promoting eco-friendly activities, and preserving natural and cultural heritage. The tourism industry must find ways to promote sustainable tourism through preserve the world natural resource for future generations. Collaboration, consumption, or the sharing economy has disrupted traditional tourism industry by providing innovative and cost-effective solutions for travelers. Platforms such as Airbus, Airbnb, and Uber have transformed the way people travel, allowing them to experience local culture and connect with local. The approach is a win-win for traveler and local, as travelers get to experience new culture while local earn extra income. In conclusion, the emerging innovative approach in the tourism industry are transforming the way we learn about different cultures and the destination, providing more personalized experience for travelers, promote sustainable tourism, and making travel more affordable and accessible. We must continue to leverage technology to exchange the educational aspect of travel and promote sustainable tourism to preserve the world's natural resources for future generations. I hope that today's international seminar will provide many benefits, learning or the new knowledge in the field of tourism science. To all of our distinguished guests and participants, thank you for your being here. Welcome and enjoy the seminar. Om Santi 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 Om. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the end of the speech marked that the event is officially opened. Please give a virtual round of applause to express great emotions of spirit of this seminar. Ladies and gentlemen, before we entering the presentation session, we would like to invite you all to a photo session, and the committee will capture you in frame. So please now open your camera and give your greatest smile. Okay? So once again, we invite you to have a photo session, and the committee will capture all of us. So please open your camera.
Recording in progress.
Okay. Shall we count now? Get ready. So the committee, are you ready to capture? We are in frame right now. Okay. Shall I count now? 1, 2, 3. Once again. 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much. There you go. As the innovation accelerating business, hope that the smiles accelerates the energy throughout the days. Thank you so much. And now, ladies and gentlemen, entering the stations of presentation to recall your mind, ladies and gentlemen. In this occasion, we have 4 invited speakers, as it's mentioned before. And to lead the presentation time, we have Ibu Dr. Irma Rahyuda as the moderator, who will inclusively framing up the session. To introduce the moderator today, I would like to introduce, I proudly say that Ibu Dr. Irma Rahyuda is a lecturer of tourism faculty since 2003 until recent time. She has studied in Angers University French for Management Studies and Leisure in 2012. She is now a lecturer of several subjects, such as Human Resources Management, MICE, Entrepreneurship, and Hospitality. So also, she actively involved in many research and community service in many tourism villages in Bali. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ibu Irma as the moderator. This session is given to you.
Sudah ya. Okay, thank you for that wonderful introduction, Miss Danny. It is a pleasure to be here today and to have a wonderful discussion with the experts from all around the world. Today, we are honored with the presence of 4 experts in their respective fields, and I will be briefly introduce them one at a time. Our first speaker, Dr. Aaron Xiao. Hello, Dr. Aaron Xiao. How are you? From Griffith University, he is a senior lecturer, Department of Tourism, Sport, and Hotel Management. Dr. Aaron Xiao is an organizational behavior scholar who specializes in internal marketing, diversity management, and cross-cultural management. Drawing on his tourism and hospitality research expertise, Dr. Aaron Xiao possesses extensive industry contact and experience to regularly collaborate with organizations and community groups in conducting industry. His major area of expertise are cross-cultural management and organizational behavior, where he has constantly published his article in leading journal. For example, International Journal of Hospitality Management, Journal of Hospitality and Tourism Research, and Journal of Hospitality Marketing and Management. So now let us welcome our first speaker, Dr. Aaron Xiao. Well, I would like to also introducing the CV from Dr. Aaron Xiao, just to remind us that his major area of expertise in cross-cultural management and organizational behavior, where he has to constantly publish article in a leading journal. And he possesses extensive industry contact and experience to regularly collaborate with organization and community group in conducting industry. Besides his senior lecturer, Dr. Aaron Xiao is an organizational behavior also scholar for specialized in international marketing, diversity management, and cross-cultural management. So as you know, is drawing on his tourism and hospitality research expertise. Dr. Aaron Xiao possesses extensive industry contact and experience to regularly collaborate with organization and community group in conducting industry. So his major area of expertise are cross-cultural management and organizational behavior, where he has constantly published articles in a leading journal. Some of the leading journal is in International Journal of Hospitality Management, Journal of Hospitality and Tourism Research, and Journal of Hospital Marketing and Management. So while we are waiting for Dr. Aaron Xiao, are you ready, Dr. Aaron Xiao? Okay. Well, while we are waiting for Dr. Aaron, I would like to announce you that we have a 4th speaker. There are another one is Dr. Udita Ramanayake, PhD. So I call it Dr. Udita Ramanayake. Good morning for the speaker, Dr. Udita Ramanayake. He is from Hainan University, Arizona State University, joined International Tourism College, China. And Dr. Udita Ramanayake also have a teaching experience since March 2022 to present, and have a notable achievement from University of Waikato doctoral scholarships 2016 to 2019, and also have academic excellence scholarship for taking his Master of Science in International Business 2013 in École until 2014 in École Supérieure de Commerce Brest, French. And then also he is a researcher on the topic human geography, tourism geographies, also current issues in tourism, and interesting in using critical, creative, visual, and participatory approaches. Besides many research and publication, and as a keynote guest speaker, Dr. Udita Ramanayake also has done so many research and publication in many countries. Then that is from the information and the CV from Dr. Udita Ramanayake. We still have 2 left, so I would like to introduce the next speaker is Mr. Saiful Bahri Muhammad Kamal. So he is going to be our 3rd speaker. So Mr. Saiful Bahri Muhammad Kamal is from University Teknologi Mara, Malaysia. So he is the lecturer at Faculty of Hotel and Tourism Management since September 2000 to present. His focus is at the area of specialization in computerized reservation system, travel agency management, entrepreneurial orientation, and his area of interest in tourism heritage, food tourism, cultural tourism, tourism information and communication technology, or ICT. He got notable achievement in several, ladies and gentlemen. So since the latest one is November 2018 from UITM's Excellent Service Awards. Then next, on October 2016, he got an award for Best Paper Award at EHTC 2016 for Factor Influencing Visual Electronic Word of Mouth on the restaurant experience as a co-author. And then on September 2016, in the same years, he got gold awards at IIDX for interactive hotel websites, iHotWeb model. And in September 2016, still in the same year, I got a silver award at IIDX for entrepreneurial orientation for small and medium travel agencies. And 2017, the award is Diamond Award at ITLAN 2017 for Graduate Research Competency Model. And also excellent services on the late of 2010. This is our third speaker. Then allow me to introduce our fourth speaker. Is a Professor Dr. DRS Inyoman Sunarto. So Professor Sunarto is our senior lecturer in the tourism study program, Tourism Faculty, Udayana University. He was our former dean of the Faculty of Tourism of Udayana University since 2018 to 2022. Right now, he is the coordinator, doctoral program tourism study program, Universitas Udayana. And he served in various roles in a tourism development in Bali as member of the Environmental Impact Assessment Commission on Tabanan Regency since 2010 to present. Also member of the Research and Development Association of the Indonesia Tourism Higher Education Association since 2018 to present, and a head of Nawacita Commerce Division for Indonesia Tourism for Bali region since 2019 until now. Next, so many notable achievements that Professor Dr. DRS Inyoman Sunarto achieved. Also member of the Regional Tourism Promotion Board of Tabanan Regency since 2021 until now, and vice chairman of the Regional Tourism Promotion Board Bali Province 2021 until now. So several publication and research studies have been conducted related to the development of tourism in tourism geography, relation with natural resources, especially water and land, including studies of carrying capacity of water in supporting the development of tourism in Bali. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is our fourth speaker. So we are welcoming our first speaker, Dr. Aaron Xiao. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are still trying to reach Dr. Aarons. While waiting, please enjoy once again the video of wonderful Indonesia.
Tak beranjak, kami menunggumu. Merindukan tatapan kagummu. Membayangkan ramai tepuk tanganmu dan menantikan kedatanganmu. Kami di sini untukmu. Bersama mereka yang ingin mengisi harimu. Dan yang ingin dekat denganmu. Semangat kami masih tersimpan. Dan kami telah menyiapkan setiap keindahan dan kekayaan. Senyuman dan isi hati kami ingin segera tersampaikan. Keajaiban kami, cerita-cerita kami, dan tradisi kami ingin segera bertemu. Kami tahu kamu pun ingin cepat kembali. Karenanya, kami selalu menjaga tempat ini. Sampai nanti kamu kembali dengan rasa tenang, kami tunggu di sini, di Indonesia aja.
So now Dr. Aaron has already joined. Good morning, Dr. Aaron Xiao.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Aaron Xiao.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Dr. Aaron Xiao.
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Can you see my video?
I'm Ilma Rayuda. It's nice to meet you.
You too? Yeah, you too.
Okay.
Likewise.
Yeah. Dr. Aaron, let me introducing your notable achievement again to the audience. Yeah. Okay, so Dr. Aaron is our first speaker, and he is the senior lecturer and from Department of Tourism, Sport, and Hotel Management. So Dr. Aaron Xiao is an organizational behavior scholar who specializes in internal marketing, right? So diversity management and cross-culture management. Drawing on his tourism and hospitality research expertise, Dr. Aaron Xiao possesses extensive industry contact and experience to regularly collaborate with organizations and community groups in conducting industry. So I take this one from your publication anyway. So his major area of expertise are cross-cultural management and organizational behavior, where he has constantly published articles in the leading journal. For example, International Journal of Hospitality Management, Journal of Hospitality and Tourism Research, and Journal of Hospitality Marketing and Management. What is a lot of publication you have done so far, Dr. Aaron Xiao. So now let us welcome our first speaker, Dr. Aaron Xiao.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good day. I'm Dr. Aaron Xiao, and I'm from Griffith University in Australia. Thank you for having me today. And I'm here today to talk to you about how customer loyalty can be boosted through the culturally competent servers, as well as the importance of the mediation role of the guest gratitude. All right, so love the next slide now. So basically literature in the various fields. Am I actually using manage the slides, or is actually the moderator will manage the slides? Sorry. Okay, perfect. So literature in various fields has examined the connection between the staff demonstration of their cultural competency behaviors and customer perceived service experiences. However, there are research gaps regarding how cultural competency attributes and their sub-dimensions functions in relation to customer experiences in a hospitality and a tourism context. This research examined the effect of the three sub-dimensions of staff cultural competency behaviors such as awareness, knowledge, and skills on the customer perceptions. And it appears that the customer satisfaction is not always linked to their return intentions. So, however, the guest gratitude was identified as having a strong relationship with customer loyalty and return intentions. So that's why in today's competitive business world, there is a little room for misunderstanding of customers' needs and consequent service failure. Therefore, being aware that people from a different cultural background and would think and behave differently, and being equipped with the relevant knowledge and skills on how to deal with the various cross-cultural service encounter to accommodate each customer's uniqueness would greatly reduce the risk of acting in a culturally inappropriate manner. So we suggest that the social exchange theory serves as the theoretical framework to consider the formation of the guest gratitude. Social exchange theory assumes that the social behavior is the result of the exchange process. Social exchange theory explains how the establishment of the social interactions and involves in the reciprocal interdependence. When a beneficiary perceives a benefit elicited by the action of a benefactor, they feel the need to reciprocate in many ways. This is often seen in the service encounter where the customer, such as the beneficiary, perceive the benefit provided by the effort of the organization or the service provider, such as the benefactors, eliciting the feeling of the obligation and gratitude, and driving reciprocal behaviors such as staff recognitions, such as their loyalty, such as their positive word of mouth. Service employees' cultural competency and efforts in understanding and appreciating the customer unique culture can be considered as extra benefit by the customers. Customers perceiving such benefit are more likely to return this benefit in the form of the gratitude and loyalty. And perception by the beneficiary of the cost to the benefactor is a common prerequisite of the gratitude. This is highly relevant in the tourism and hospitality setting, where the employees are often encouraged to go extra mile and go above and beyond, performing the extra role behaviors that exceed their job description and the responsibilities. Some of these behaviors are, for example, showing a greater concern and providing extra attention to customer needs, or demonstrating the very higher sensitivity and being knowledgeable about their customers' cultural values and expectations. Therefore, we suggest that employees showing the cultural competency could be interpreted by the customer as exceeding the standard service routines, and thus building a connection with the customers. Such extra effort will lead to guest gratitude. More specifically, different dimensions of cultural competence may affect the service work-related behaviors, thus the service experiences. And then lastly, the person who has a greater level of cultural awareness is more likely to cater for the customer's diverse needs. That is, when the guests receive the preferential treatment with a culturally respectful acknowledgement from the service, the favorable sentiment and the response arise. Therefore, that's why we have proposed this hypothesis. Now, there'll be next slide, please. So in a service context, gratitude can be defined as a positive emotional state that is the other direct as perceived by the customer in the interaction with others. So yes, gratitude involves emotional, cognitive, and behavioral dimensions. Being other directed gratitude cannot be focused toward oneself, but arises when one feels grateful and thankful for a benefiting act occurring during a service encounter. While a wide range of the other emotion can arise from these service encounters, such as happiness, such as joy, or ambivalent or negative emotions such as frustration or disappointment. Gratitude has been linked to its ability to trigger a heightened behavior intention. Additionally, unlike obligation, which has been seen as aroused a sense of indebtedness resulting in a negative emotion and the discomfort, guess gratitude forms a key emotional core of reciprocity and is the driving force in the development and the maintenance of a long-lasting relation bond between the customers and providers. Next slide, please. So, social exchange happens not only in the social context, but also in workplace and in hospitality and tourism organizations. Social exchange could happen between the leaders, such as the leader and the member exchange, could happen in the co-worker space, co-worker exchange, and between the customer employees. So it's a customer employees exchange. Therefore, during the process of interacting with the service providers, customer will weigh the benefit, receive the cost incurred. Service employees, the cultural competency and effort made in understanding and appreciating customers' unique culture is often considered as an extra benefit by the customers. Due to the reciprocal nature of the social exchange, customers perceiving such a benefit are more likely to return such a favor, often in the form of the gratitude and loyalty. Such a process is also supported by the effect theory of the social exchange, that is proposing the successful social exchange helps both benefactor and the beneficiary generate the positive emotion reaction such as gratitude, which would contribute to the building of the trust and the development of the long-term relationship. This research examines the effect of three sub-dimensions of staff cultural competency. Like we mentioned before, awareness, knowledge, and skills on the customer perceptions. Cultural awareness is the sensitivity displayed by the staff of the cultural values, and the biases which also allow staff to show respect to the customer's cultural values and develop their relationship with customers. Cultural knowledge refers to the staff knowledge of the customer's culture, worldview, which can facilitate positive exchange and contribute to customers' perception and pleasant service experiences. Cultural skills are the ability of the staff to be culturally sensitive and used to reduce the cultural gap between the customers and the service staff. Service employees' cultural competency and efforts made in understanding and appreciating customer unique culture is often considered as extra benefit. Due to the reciprocal nature of social exchange, customer perceiving such a benefit are more likely to express gratitude. So we talk about that. Customer gratitude arises when a guest perceives positive gesture and efforts of the service provider, which trigger the customer's positive effect and motivate them to reciprocate behaviors and benefit service provider. So we suggest employees showing the cultural competency could be interpreted by the customer as making an extra and beneficial effort, and thus would be the reciprocal with the customer gratitude. Can we go back to the last slide, please? The previous slides, yeah. Can we, yeah, the previous slide. I think we are in the result. Yeah, that's that. So we talk about method. Thank you. So this study will use the quantitative research design using the convenient sampling method. Data was collected from both domestic and international customers stay at luxury hotel in a coastal city of Australia. So on site, using a self-administrative questionnaire, the questionnaire contained 2 sections, with section 1 designed to collect customers' demographic information, and section 2, we were designed to collect customers' perception of the hotel employees' cultural competency, and even their service experiences and the gratitude and the behavioral intention. So all measures were adapted from the previously validated measures and was pilot tested using 30 convenient select hotel customers. So the 3-dimensional cultural competence was measured by using the 9 items from the Marco Polo study from 2009. And each item was measured cultural awareness, knowledge, and cultural skill. And of course, the combo alpha was all over the standard, above the standard. And then we also used gratitude was measured using items from Kolikova in 2009, and behavior intention was measured using the items from Kim and Cha in 2002. So again, those combo alpha was over to 0.8, and total of 500 questionnaires were distributed to hotel customers, and 355 were returned. After eliminating the questionnaire with the missing responses, a total of 346 questionnaires were retained and for the data analysis. So representing the valid response rate, roughly 69.2%. So next slide, please. Thank you. So in this study, there's 43.4% of respondents were male and 56.6% were female. More than half of these responded were aged between 18 to 35 years old, so that roughly 55%. And then had a university education level, roughly 53.2%. Pardon me. Among 346 responded, 52% were born in other countries, and 48% were born in Australia. So as you can see from this table, it shows the birth country, region, administrative region of guests born outside of Australia, and demonstrate a total of 38 countries, regions, and administrative regions were reported. So it should be noted that Australian population is very culturally diverse. According to the most recent census survey of Australia, almost half of Australians have at least one parent born overseas, and almost a quarter of Australians speak language other than English at home. Australians speak some 200, roughly 200 more languages, and the most common of which, after English, are Chinese, such as like Mandarin, Cantonese, and Arabic, Vietnamese, and Italian. Therefore, our select sample is very suitable for the purpose of our study, which is trying to test the culturally competency and culturally diverse perceptions from different cohorts. All right, the next slide, please. So in this slide, we can quickly see that, the CFA was performed. So that's why the model fit was well. I probably will study fasten the presentation a bit more, considering probably have to finish roughly.
Dr. Aaron.
Yeah.
Dr. Aaron.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you.
That's right.
We still have 5 minutes left for your presentation.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for heads up. Yeah. So we just quickly look at this slide. Now we can see that basically the structure model has been performed, and then the model fit also has been identified. So in this case, hypothesis 1, 2, and 3 was being tested. And then you can see that hypothesis 1 and 3 were supported, while hypothesis 2 was not supported. And then the next slide also trying to mention that so the indirect path of knowledge on future intention by gratitude was not significant. And then the 2-dimension of awareness and skills for the both direct and indirect effect on future behavior intention was significant. So which means the hypothesis 5A and hypothesis 5C were supported, but hypothesis 5B was not supported. Okay, so now we can quickly go to the next page. So this pretty much shows that's the result, what is supported and what's not supported. And then finally, we can go to the implication and conclusion. So the next slide, please. So the finding of the study, so we can go to the next page. So which means the finding of the study suggests that the 2-dimension of cultural competency and awareness and skills were significantly related to guest gratitude, which further affected their behavior intention. And the hospitality and tourism organization should provide training and educate their staff in cultural awareness skills and handling cross-cultural service encounter. The finding of the study also suggests that both cultural awareness and skills were significantly related to the guest gratitude, in turn, increase the customer return intentions. Gratitude as a unique immediate factor, and then develop ostracistic gesture by staff and perception of being benefited by the customers. And cultural awareness and skills should be the focus of training for the hotel and the tourism staff. But also need to have enhanced, if the tourism hotel industry can create enhanced cultural diversity in their workplaces, to leveraging on the cultural knowledge possessed by individual employees and creating increased opportunity for guest needs to be recognized. And then the customer feedback is extremely helpful to improving the service quality, and employees can be more culturally competent through learning from the past experiences. So this slide, basically, I was trying to give the audience to see that's what we're doing. After this study, we move on to the next, because now we can see the cultural diverse study is should be the trend, and especially in within this pandemic effect. And that's where we're starting. Our research team start working on the literature review on diversity on the basis of what we have found from this cultural competency study. So this is just a few slides I'd like to share with you just by quickly looking at it. So yeah, I think I'm pretty much done. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much for your comprehensive presentation, Dr. Aaron Xiao, about boost customers' loyalty through culturally competent server, the mediation role of guest gratitude. From you, I have learned several things. Here's some interesting point, and interesting point I found that maybe point number 1 is about cultural competence of server can contribute to increase customer loyalty. Then, for example, the server, are able to interact with the customer from various cultural background and in a good and full understanding, then customers tend to be more loyal to the business. And then I capture another point is the guest gratitude can act as a mediator in the relation between cultural competencies of server and the customer loyalty. The greater the gratitude of guests towards server who have good cultural competence, the more likely they will become a loyal customer. And point number 3 is training and development of server skill in interacting with the customer from various cultural background can help increase customer loyalty. Maybe this is the last. This study is contributing to our understanding of the factor that can affect customer loyalty and assist business in designing strategy to increase customer loyalty again. So by considering the cultural competence of server and gratitude as important factor, businesses can build stronger relationship with their customer. That is from, I have learned something from you anyway. So
Wonderful.
I learned something new, and I'm sure all the audience also got something valuable as well.
Wonderful.
Well, because our time is really tight, so now we would like to open a question and answer session. Probably for the first chance, we invite to the floor to express only one question, because the time is very consuming. Anyway,
All right.
okay. So for the first chance, I would like to, if you have any question for online participant, there is a two-way. You can send a question in the chat box, or you can just asking us directly. Only one participant I would like to invite first. Thank you. Is that okay, Dr. Aaron?
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, perfect.
Is that correct?
Yeah, perfect. Wonderful.
Okay. We are waiting for a question from the participant. Okay. Here we have a question from Adi Kusuma. Okay. Just go directly. Please briefly ask your question, Adi. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Irma Rahyuda, as the moderator in the discussion today. And also thank you for the explanation from His Excellency, Dr. Aaron Hes Xiao. Well, I already reading and follow the explanation. It's really complete. But here I have one question. What is the strategy of culture study, especially to build the culture awareness, which all of us know, there are a lot of differences for every culture in the world like that. So how can we understand the differences of all of the culture in the world as the hospitality worker soon? That's all the question. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. That's a very good question. It's a very timely question too. Consider, hospitality and tourism industry are very global, influenced. So yes, culture is definitely always the hit topic that we have to constantly revisiting, constantly, revolving. And but from this study, considering also some study we have done earlier. Now, if we want to take from customer perspective, which you say that customer actually generally they are pretty they're not that crazily or high standard. The way they think, not necessarily you have to show them very particular knowledge about certain country or like a deep knowledge about their values or concept of specific region. They are not really, that doesn't really come across with from perceived by the customers. As long as the employees, they can show the respect in the way that it actually can be perceived as showing their sensitivity and like we talk about awareness, right? Sensitivities and the skills such as showing the respect, are more likely to transform into the gratitude from the customer base. So what's the strategy? The strategy would be, we already know that there's so many cultural dimensions that was being listed by those theory, right? By those scholars. It's always good, that's why we, in our, during the HR training, we always say this is something it's good to start to dig in, but not necessarily to encourage the staff to learn each aspect. No, we know there's differences. We acknowledge the differences. We celebrate differences, rather than trying to treat everyone as a uniform, like a, like a standard of the service procedure. No, it should provide more personalized, services that are more likely to be perceived well by the global customer in that sense. Does that help?
Yes, the answer is very complete. Thank you, Dr.
Wonderful.
Aaron.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. I hope, Adi, I hope that the answer that answer your question, Adi. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I have one more question for you, Dr. Aaron.
Yeah, sure.
This is about the question from another student, our student. So this is the question. Based on your study, do tourists coming to Bali still mainly because of cultural factor? Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Can I repeat your question again? So, does the tourists come to Bali because of cultural reason? Is it?
Yeah, because of the cultural factor. Maybe there is an indicator that impacting the cultural. Why the tourists coming to Bali? It is still mainly, because it's the top chart. Australians visits Bali very higher than the other country.
Yeah, I think that you're right. The cultural factor must be considering Indonesia, also has a very diverse culture, and in many ways, and that culture motivation is always the pull factor, that from you guys, and then bring the Australian tourists to Bali. Certainly, yeah. Is that what you're asking? The culture factor?
Culture factor, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the because of the cultural factor. Of course, cultural, own culturals,
yeah.
As well as in Bali. So there is, I believe that there is a lot of factors to influence why people still go to their favorite destination, for example. Well, that is about the cultural factor. I hope Bapak Ketut Surata that the answer is fulfill your question. Okay, Bapak Ketut Surata. All right.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
Okay, because again and again, I would like to Bapak Ketut Surata. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, Bapak Ketut Surata. I hope that answer your question.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for the question. So you can see that cultural factor still to be the main factor, the main reason why tourists coming to Bali. Yeah.
Totally.
If you do not mind, I'd like to have some studies on this one, some articles and studies showing that the main factors for tourists coming to Bali still because of the culture. Right. So because now there's a big doubt now, whether tourists coming to Bali because of culture or because of buying something.
Yeah, totally.
Getting something to eat or getting something to play.
Exactly. There's also part of culture. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Aaron.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Putri Kusuma. A very good moderator.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Bapak Ketut Surata, for your question. And then I have to end up wrap up of Dr. Aaron Xiao presentation, and we are going to move on to our second speaker, Dr. Udita Ramanayaki, PhD. And once again, I would like to say thank you so much, Dr. Aaron Xiao, and have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. All right, now let's move on to our second speaker, Dr. Udita Ramanayake. Good morning. How are you, Dr. Udita?
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Let me allowing me to introducing your curriculum vitae and then your notable achievements. All right.
Sure.
So, Dr. Udita Ramanayake from Hainan University, Arizona State University, joined International Tourism College in China, and Dr. Udita also have a teaching experience since March 2022 until present, and I have notable achievement from University of Waikato doctoral scholarship since 2016 to 2019, and then also have academic excellence scholarship for Master Science in International Business 2013 to 2014 in École Supérieure de Commerce Bretagne, Brest, French. Comment ça va, monsieur? Est-ce que vous parlez français, mister? Doctor. Okay, let me continue. Well, he's researcher on topic human geography, tourism geography is also current issues in tourism and interest in using critical, creative, visual, and participatory approaches. Besides many research and publication, he also as a keynote and guest speaker, and he's done in many countries. So I would like to welcome our second speaker, Dr. Udita Ramanayake. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you well. Very good morning. Yeah.
Okay.
So greetings, everyone. This is from Hainan. Actually, thank you so much for having me today. It's wonderful to be here today. And can we share please, my PowerPoint presentation if?
Okay, the committee would like to share the presentations from Dr. Udita. We are waiting for our committee to set up and prepare for your presentation.
Okay, sure, thanks. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yes. I think now we can see your presentation too. So time is yours.
Yep, sure. Okay, so thank you very much for having me again. It's wonderful to be here today. And I hope you can hear me well and you can see my PowerPoint presentation. So please feel free to stop me if there's any problem. So today I'm going to discuss few ideas about what I have learned in my research. Actually, the topic is around innovative methodologies that can be used to unravel layers of diverse meaning in inclusive tourism research. So this topic is kind of quite personal for me because it looks upon my research as well as it looks at society in the context of tourism and hospitality. So that's about my kind of a topic that I'm going to discuss. Can you please go to the next slide? Okay. Thank you. So this will be the content. Basically, I will give you a brief introduction about myself, what I do. So that kind of give you a foundation, what I'm going to discuss today. Then I'm going to discuss mainly about this method, which is a visual innovative method. That's the key part of today's my speech. And then I will discuss a few key takeaways from my speech, and then I will conclude my session, right? So that would be my kind of the content, what I'm going to discuss today. Can you have the next slide, please? Okay, so when thinking about myself, about my research, I am interested in exploring kind of critical understandings of subjective, emotional, and neglected aspects of tourism. I have a special interest about exploring populations who are coming from sensitive, marginalized, or vulnerable populations. And I have always this question, how we can, when do we research, how we can capture kind of deep emotional aspects and people's experiences in inclusive and humane way. So that's the key question that I'm going to answer in this presentation through this innovative method. Next slide, please. Okay, so in my teaching and research, I would like to use a lot of creative and kind of these participatory visual methods. So this is actually one method I use, which is called Ketso. It's a hands-on kit, and it's a participatory method. But what is interesting in this method, it's kind of a creative learning and engagement method as well. And it can be used in the context of online, hybrid, and also face-to-face. So that would be the most interesting part. And recently I got to know that, for example, in the UK, actually more than 50% universities actually use Ketso. So this is a one type of method I use teaching and research. It's a kind of a creative method. Next slide, please. And also I like to use Lego serious play. It's a very fun method, but it's a kind of a serious method, as you can see. So I'm sure some of you already using these methods as well. But this picture is from my class, actually, one of my student groups. We did a kind of a group discussion about sustainability in the context of hotels. So these methods, basically what I learned, because people are diverse. If you look at a classroom, even you have students from the same nationality, but their experiences, their kind of previous, whatever, emotions, everything could be different. And these kind of methods kind of give students, even in research, multiple avenues to express their ideas, because some people might be visually much more stronger, and also not all experiences can be easily expressed in words, right? So these methods kind of quite advantages in that sense, kind of giving more options in participation in terms of research and also teaching. And can I have the next slide, please? Okay, so this is about MeBox method. And this is actually the method that I'm going to discuss in this presentation. So this method is a kind of a research method which can be used. It's a quite interesting method, innovative. So I'm going to discuss about it more broadly. First, I will give you a kind of a background to this method. Can we have the next slide? Okay, so when you think about this current situation today, right? When we think about the COVID-19 pandemic, actually, compared to all the negative impacts, also this has given us an opportunity to rethink about tourism towards inclusive directions where kind of no one is left alone. To this end, in terms of research and also in our education, today we can see, compared to COVID times, a lot of more personalized in terms of service and interaction. And when you think about doing research with people about their lived experiences, right? Our lived experiences are multifaceted. They are not always expressed in words. So therefore, sometimes people might have kind of difficulties in expressing their lived experiences. As you can see on this slide, as the scholar suggests, sometimes sounds of silence can create discomfort, awkwardness, and fractures in conversation. But to understand these experiences, the methods I have shown are quite capable of understanding deep, in-depth lived experiences of people. So in this presentation, I'm basically going to talk about this MeBox method, I believe, which has the potential to use across a variety of tourism issues to understand people's lived experiences. Next slide, please. Okay, so when you're thinking about understanding lived experiences, so this quotation is a quite interesting quotation, because when you do research with people, actually, I'm going to read this quotation. It's more than just signing a form to say that they are willing to offer you information, and they're actually allowing you into their lives. They are telling you personal information that might be quite hard. So you need to demonstrate a certain degree of discretion, respect, appreciation for what they are doing, because the reality is it is more than just words. It is more than what you are going to analyze. It is their life, it is their experience, and you need to make sure that you are aware of that, right? So to this end, actually, when you're thinking about previous research, more kind of inclusion of non-linguistic aspects of research allow us to access more hidden levels of experiences. Next slide, please. So to this end, actually, when you're thinking about visual research methods, because compared to many traditional research methods, which are highly rely on language, but visual methods have other aspects because our lived experiences are multifaceted. This can be visual or sensory dimensions, and not always it can be expressed in words. So there are a variety of visual methods, actually, including drawing, electronic media, material objects, photographs, whatever, right? So there are so many options, but I'm going to talk about this Me Box method today. Can we have the next slide, please? Okay, so this Me Box method, actually, I'll go a little bit quickly considering the time, and it's a kind of a visual method. It was founded by Gibbons in 2010 in a visual anthropology project to understand lived experience of chronic illness. So how this Me Box method kind of create, it gathering together important items that represent different aspects of a person's life, right? So that's the basically how it kind of do. So can we have the next slide, please? Okay, so I'm going to discuss how this method we can do. So there are basically in a Me Box method, there are 3 stages. First stage, getting the participant know well. And second one is constructing Me Box from researcher provided objects and completing the Me Box from participant provided objects, right? So first we'll get to know each other. In the second session, what we're gonna do, in the first when we meet participant, we provide collection of gift boxes, as you can see on this slide. So we'll provide this collection of gift boxes and ask the participant to select a box of their choice to be their Me Box in the interview. So participants will select one of the Me Box that they like, and then researcher will provide a collection of objects that brought by him or her, and ask participant to select any objects that represent their lived experiences and put into their box. So researcher will have his or her own ideas what these objects mean, but researcher have to kind of let participant to attribute their own meanings to these objects. So what happens, participant will go through these objects that brought by the researcher and put it into the box. And while doing that, maybe researcher can go outside or letting participant to connect with the objects to the Me Box. And once a participant complete that, researcher will ask participant to select objects one by one and discuss about how these objects reflect their lived experiences. This is related to travel and tourism if you're doing research like that, right? So this way we kind of do the interview using these objects in the second part. And at the end of the interview, once we discuss all the objects, researcher will invite the participants to take this Me Box home and bring back to the final third interview after some period of time, adding their own objects to the Me Box that are still missing to represent their lived experiences, right? So during this break, participant will add their own objects that's still missing to represent their experience and bring back to the final interview. So in the final interview, we repeat the same. We again discuss lived experiences through these objects, which have brought by the participant, right? So this is briefly the Me Box 3 sessions. Can we have the next slide, please? Okay, so I'm going to share an example where how Me Box method has been used in New Zealand, actually from senior travelers who are 65 years and above. This is a project to explore how our major life events can shape travel and tourism experiences of people, major life events such as after facing a life-threatening illness or kind of major events such as a loss of a spouse, right? How it can shape people's travel. So can you have the next slide? So this is basically the research is about. So I'm going to share how participants express their experiences through these objects. So this is about Jane. So Jane was a participant where basically she faced eye cancer. And after many operations, doctors suggested Jane that they have to remove her eye because cancer going to the brain was quite high. So when Jane saw the broken pot, she realized that her life is broken because she lost her eye. And through this broken pot, Jane expressed her experiences related to travel. For example, she mentioned how people were helping her when she's traveling because she can't see very well. And also she mentioned from one angle, we can't see this pot is broken. As the same way Jane wonders what people see first when she is traveling. Whether people see her first as an older woman traveling or whether people see her prosthetic eye first. She suspects most of the travelers see her as an older woman traveling. Right, so this is how kind of Jane expressed her lived experience of travel through this broken pot. Right, can we have the next slide, please? And also, this is another example. From this toy car, Jane expressed that her travel experiences in the USA, specifically Chicago, because she's from rural farming background of New Zealand. Suddenly, she's in a very busy street, a lot of traffic, a lot of noise. So it make her realize that sometimes in our life can be like that, because we kind of caught up in kind of hustle and bustle. And she realized that this is part of life's journey, but that doesn't mean our life's journey is all peace and quiet. Life is also exciting because it brings changes, challenges, and that's part of living, right? So that's kind of how this toy car provides meaning to Jane. Can we have the next slide, please? Okay, so this is from another participant, Matthew. So the diary actually reminded Matthew about her death of her wife, because they were used to write a diary all about travel memories. And through this diary, kind of Matthew expressed their travel experiences following this major loss, right? So next slide, please. And also this is from Matthew, because after when he's traveling, especially this was from Singapore, he met these older people who are still working, and that gave the meaning to Matthew that if they can work at this age, there's no reason that he or we should be sitting on our backside at that doing nothing, right? So that kind of meaning given by from her travel experiences, but he expressed through these objects. Next slide, please. And also this is from Matthew, this padlock and key basically reminded about the experience where in Singapore, they lost their kind of their luggage. It was a big problem because all their medication was in this baggage. So Matthew mentioned that for other people, this would be just a carry case, but for us, it's about life-sustaining medication, right? So this is kind of when all the people traveling kind of experience. Can we have the next slide, please? And this is from Amanda. So I'm sharing some objects for you to make you realize that how these objects bring memories about travel and hospitality. So this is from Amanda. Actually, Amanda faced a cancer. So after the cancer, she really needed to explore, travel, friends around the world. And when she remembered see these two objects, she realized that how far she has come from that time, right? So it kind of gives meaning about how she faced this loss and about kind of transformation she had through traveling. Can we have the next slide, please? Okay, so that's all about how objects, and this me box method has another part, because sometimes it's arguing that these objects, even photographs, can still miss some information, because it's if you're looking at this experience, it's very hidden and it's emotional. So still these photographs can miss some information. So therefore, in me box method, there's another step. We create a collage, which is a co-create co-creation with participant and the researcher. As you can see here, this is actually from Jane's example where she faced with a eye cancer, but the broken plot kind of express about her facing the eye cancer because her life is not perfect anymore. She's broken, she believes, but the toy car and the Bible, which gave a lot of meaning because her religion kind of gave a lot of kind of the foundation her life to face this eye cancer. And also toy car represent all her travel, which gave meaning to go ahead of her life to understand her loss better. So all the travel memories. And she wanted to put this medal as a flower. So she's believing that her travel memories actually made her to realize, to understand her loss better, to understand world better, and also to understand that my losses are smaller compared to others. So she mentioned through this co-creation of this collage, I'm a broken vessel, but I'm still usable. I can be filled up today with dirt and stones and still have a flower. So this actually gives additional kind of meaning and explanation, kind of expression to people's lived experiences. Can you have the next slide, please? Okay, so key takeaways from this method. Actually, what I realized that seeing comes before words, which means that, you know, that some people are visually much more stronger. So our participants expressed that these objects help her to remember their past experiences and also talk about different things that they were not planned to discuss in the meetings. And also mainly these objects help to discover additional meanings. For example, one, participants enjoy the process and it helped to remember the experience very well. Even the researcher provided objects help them to understand more kind of lived experiences. And also some participants expressed that this MeBox interview is therapeutic because they were able to go through these emotional events through these objects. So that kind of were therapeutic for them. But we have to do more research to make sure this is either we can generalize this, but these were some few participants. So actually, mainly what I feel is that it gives a lot of options for a researcher to understand more depth about their lived experiences, and also it helps participants to talk about kind of variety of their lived experiences. So these are the key points that I realized. Can we have the next slide, please? Okay, so very quickly about when you do research, similar research with sensitive or vulnerable or marginalized people, we have to give a lot of attention about ethics, about how to make it more sensitive, because it's about with people. And also we have to think about basically, when it is the appropriate time to interview participants, because after a major event, maybe it was not a good time to interview them. So we have to decide what is the most suitable time. So we have to actually have some pre-conversations, initial conversations, so that will help you. And also during conducting interview, what we should do at the beginning, during, and at the end, how to stop the interview, how can we support them, how can we arrange some supportive person if they need additional support, such as counselors, right? So if something goes wrong, kind of emotional breakdown, so what we are going to do, right? So we have to prepare for that, and also confidentiality aspects as well. So from my experience, even though I was kind of thought these are quite emotional, even in the tourism and hospitality, but so far it has been worked well, this MeBox method, because participants actually loved it, and it was very meaningful to them for go through their memories through those objects as well. Can we have the next slide, please? Can we have, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, is the time is up?
No, Dr. Udita, you still have your time to finish your presentation.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I will ask the committee to focus for sliding the text of your presentation.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you. And so even though I have discussed about many good things, also there are some limitations I have found out, which are about we can't use this method every aspect of our research, right? It's kind of more qualitative. So we have to selective, when to use this method. And also this method kind of requires, a lot of time and commitment from participants, right? So it's a long process. So it needs the commitment and a lot of time from both participants and the researcher. But however, in my experience so far, participants enjoyed it. They didn't make any complaint about the duration or the effort they have to put, but it can be different from situation to situation. So you have to prepare about this because participant might be a little bit fatigued because there are 3 stages. It's a long process and we have to create this co-creation of these images later as well, right? So you have to prepare for that. And also thinking about this method. So I have used in New Zealand and some Western context mainly. So you know that every culture is different. So therefore, based on cultural aspects, we interpret things differently. So you have to know, how people engage with MeBox method could be different from culture to culture or religion to religion. So you have to kind of prepare for this as well. Next slide, please. Okay, so in conclusion, what I can say, I have discussed few of these creative visual methods, starting from Lego serious play and Kitso, but I haven't discussed about it because it's quite difficult to discuss kind of online because there are a lot of kind of objects. So, but those methods are also quite interesting ones in terms of research and also in teaching as well, which I have been using. It's very effective. And talking about MeBox method, we can use this method in research when we especially do research with, when we want to explore some lived experiences, sometimes might not easy to express in words. So we have to support our participants to make sure that they can express their lived experiences easily. And also this method kind of can be, option qualitative tool which help participants inclusion, right, and helping them to express their words easily that are not easy to express compared to traditional word-based research tools, right? So can we have the next slide? Okay, these are some references, and the next slide, please. Okay, so that's all about my presentation, and I hope that I have shared something important or something useful to you. So thank you so much for your time. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Udita Ramanayaki, for that inspiring talk and interesting insights. You know, from you, I have learned several things. But these innovation methodologies, this method can solve the problem of complexity and diversity, especially inclusive tourism, and it seeks ways to produce a deeper understanding of the various layer meaning and experiences from different perspectives. Yeah, I hope this is correct. Yep. So I found some of the key points of this method are: one is recognition of the complexity of inclusive tourism. This method takes into account that inclusive tourism involves a variety of complex factors and a variety of experiences. And the second point is understanding of inclusive framework itself. This includes recognizing and understanding the various factors such as culture, gender, disabilities, and age that influence the tourism experience. And last is leverage technology, of course, such as the data analytical and social media, to help collect data and gain deeper insight into the tourism experience. And I think this is a new approach and a method of conducting research in the field of inclusive tourism. This method also can help raise awareness about the importance of inclusivity in tourism and promote more sustainable in the field of inclusive tourism. So it was an eye-opening how this innovation methodology can help the field of inclusive tourism. Dr. Udita Ramanela. So, however, thank you so much for your contribution. And then I have to move on and we'll continue our seminar with our third speaker.
Yeah, we are most welcome. Thank you.
Okay, so today we will continue our seminar with our third speaker. Then before, let us present you a slide of sorry, just wait a moment. So before we continue the seminar, let's see the slide of the beautiful of Indonesia. Thank you. Hello, hello, I'm come back again. So we will continue our seminar with our third speaker. I will introduce our third speaker, Mr. Saiful Bahri Moh Kamal, right? So Mr. Saiful Bahri Moh Kamal from University Technology Maran, Malaysia. So are you here, Mr. Saiful? Hello, Mr. Saiful Bahri.
Yeah, hello. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, good morning. Allowing me to introducing you first to our audience.
Sure.
Let's continue. Thank you. So, Mr. Saiful Bahri Moh Kamal from University Technology Mara, Malaysia. He is a lecturer at the Faculty of Hotel and Tourism Management since September 2000 until present. Well, it's a quite long, 20 years so far. Okay. So he focusing at the area specialization in computerized reservation system, travel agency management, entrepreneurial organization, and the area of interest in tourism, heritage, food tourism, cultural tourism, and tourism information and communication technology that we are going to have today. And he got a notable achievement in several awards. So the latest is on 2009 is got from UETMS Excellent Service Award, and some awards from Best Paper Awards in IHTC 2016 4-factor influencing visual electronic words of mouth on the restaurant experience. And next is Gold Awards at IIDX 2016 for interactive hotel websites, I Hope Web Model, and a Silver Award on September 2016 in the same 8 years for entrepreneurial orientation for small and medium travel agency. So I would like to please welcome Mr. Saiful Bahri Moh Kamal. The time is yours. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Irma Rahida, as the moderator. Assalamualaikum, good morning, dan selamat siang. I wish to maybe Dr. I. Wayan Swardana, the Dean of the faculty, all the lecturers of the faculty, the dosen of Universitas Udayana, fellow speakers coming with me, then students from Universitas Udayana, and respected audience. My name is Saiful Bahri bin Muhammad Kamal, and I'm from the Faculty of Hotel and Tourism Management, UITM Penang. Yeah, actually, I requested to share my own slide because my own I have a video interactive for my own slide, but I guess it's not happening. Just that I'm talking about the future trends of ICT, latest ICT innovation. So I would like to at least display a video on how it is being done within the tourism industry but nevertheless, it's okay. It's okay. But the slide will be just static. Okay. My brief speech entitled "Emerging Innovative ICT Trends and Approaches for the Future of Tourism Industry" generally will highlight the ICT innovation activity in tourism and hospitality industry, and gives evidence about this rapid evolution. As everybody would have noticed, ICT innovation is playing an increasing role in services, particularly in tourism industry. Okay, can we move to the next slide? Okay, but first here is the presentation outline. Okay, first I'll be talking about the emerging of ICT innovation trends. This is more like the introduction. Okay, and next I'll be talking about the latest ICT innovation in tourism. We will see some of the latest ICT innovation that has been introduced to the tourism industry. And I'll be talking about the challenges that latest ICT innovation brought upon the industry, how latest ICT innovation changed the working system and the dimension of the customer services in tourism industry. And lastly, we will see some recommendation and approaches to face and adopt latest ICT innovation from the service provider perspective as well as maybe the government perspective. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so when we talk about ICT, it refers to the information and communication technology that enable users, in this case, tourists and travelers, to access, store, transmit, understand, and manipulate information gathered online. Okay, my speech today will not address directly to the body of literature, I think, because comparing to the previous presenter, but instead I will focus on the dynamics of ICT innovation in tourism nowadays to provide evidence on major trends. Okay, keeping pace with these emerging tourism trends can actually help tourism service provider to provide more competitive and cater to the needs of the new generation customer. Okay, and then the tourism business frontier has expanded for tourism businesses to stay competitive, and they need to have access to the latest ICT innovation. But the latest ICT innovation has opened up the possibility of for customer to access the tourism product and build packages, which in a sense put them in a competition with the travel agencies. Yeah, and then the evolution of ICT innovation are not just technological. Innovation also have become integrated to the working system. We have heard about the GDS, the global distribution system, which is capable of reserving flights and doing fares in the past. But nowadays, it can access information on hotels, car rentals, ferries, and some other services. And recently, we have heard about the air ticket. I'm not sure if have you heard, but it starts in Europe, now moving towards the Asian countries, which integrates several GDS system. So a travel agent can access more information and get a better price. Okay, and we have also seen the emergence of mobile technologies, which include many applications for recreation and travel within mobile devices. The development of this technology has tremendously altered the way travel agents operate their businesses. Okay, so the tourism industry is comprised of activities that are scattered in nature, which need to be assembled dynamically and gathered different actors. Okay, in the past, tour packages consist of basic interrelated services like transportation, accommodation, leisure, or maybe online services for those who are technologically oriented. Okay, but nowadays, more actors are involved. Okay, they can be a graphic designer, a software designer, mobile apps designer, and the likes. Okay, the tourism industry now rely on varied and changing knowledge bases mostly deal with new technology, followed by the emergence of new actors, new relations, and new market. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay, this is an example. We're supposed to have an interactive video, but it's okay. Actually, when I talk about the internet and the GDS, okay, and maybe basic mobile apps, these are technology that we have seen for quite some time. Okay, the one that we are about to see is the latest ICT innovation. Okay, the focus is more on innovation that are directly experienced by the consumer. Okay, and what I will present to you is not everything, because more is available out there. Just that I don't have enough time to present every technology within 25 minutes. Okay, and some of the ICT innovation might be interrelated between one another, as the utilization of this new technology is becoming all-inclusive. Okay, the first one that we have is voice search and voice control. Okay, actually, to put simple, voice control is a technology that allows devices, including smartphone hubs, smart TV, and personal computer, to understand human speech. I'm talking about extensive human speech. You can actually talk to them and response to elaborative voice command in the appropriate way. Okay, so actually within the video over here, we're supposed to see a female traveler uses her voice search apps within her handphone to book her holiday. Okay, by the way, this app is called a Hound, and you can install it within your handphone. Okay, the user actually do not have to click by giving command to the person Hound. Okay, using her voice, the user can actually access information pertaining to the hotel availability. Okay, and she can also state her price preference and the number of days she will be waiting at the hotel. She will be staying at the hotel, and the apps will interactively respond to her specific needs. Okay, and within the video also, she also asks about the weather at the destination, and the app's response by giving the information requested in a great detail. What is impressive about this technology is that every command is being done by only using her voice. Okay, all right. Next slide, please. Okay, next we have virtual reality. Okay, virtual reality technology generally helps to immerse a user in a digital environment through the use of images, sounds, and other physical sensations. The users is essentially placed within a virtual world, which they can move around and in some cases interact with others. I myself like to watch virtual videos, not actually virtual videos, but tourists moving around within a tourism destination. Okay, but the one that you see over here is sort of like an interactive video where you can toggle the angle of the video going up and down, left to right, by clicking at the button located on the top left corner within the video. So yeah, like supposed to be demonstrated here, but I can't demonstrate to you. Okay, so by clicking up and down, left or right, I can actually see the different angle within my virtual world, virtual tour, sorry, in Rome, Italy. Okay, so basically, by watching the virtual tour video, you can feel that you are there at the destination, and you can watch every angle from where you're standing. Okay, to me, that gives a great experience about your tour. Okay, maybe future tour, most travel agency, they are promoting experience. So they give their customer to experience the virtual tour and see for themselves, and they will be interested to go to the actual place. Okay, right. Next slide. Okay, next we have is robotics. Okay, actually, I'll be talking more about robotics rather than chatbots or automation. Okay, I think in my personal view, I do not think that every people will fancy being entertained by a robot. Okay, some I think will definitely not. Okay, but in terms of delivering excellent customer service, robots provide hospitality companies with several benefits. Okay, it can be made available 24/7 with almost instantaneous response times, which could be virtually impossible for human staff. Okay, but to me, robot will definitely be lacking at providing personal touch or high touch, which is an important element in customer service. But it's out there. The robots are out there, and definitely there will be market segment that are attracted to robot service. Okay, and even I don't know in Bali are there many robots or not, but I think it is a good introduction if tourism authority can install some robots within certain places within in Bali. But as for me, when I eat at a local restaurant, there are sometimes a robot came to me. Okay, not a human-like robot, but more like a small car carrying dishes, and it has a small screen of a face smiling at me. Okay, so basically it is another form of customer service, but I do not mind being served by the robot. Okay, so and audience have to remember when we talk about a robot, robot doesn't have to be human-like. Okay, it can be in a different kind of form. Okay, the video you're supposed to see is the implementation of robot in a hotel in Japan. If you go to that hotel, generally you will see just robots all over, okay, which is something quite interesting and of course attract certain market. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, and next we have artificial intelligence. Okay, so basically artificial intelligence or AI in short form, it is a machine learning technology. Okay, the AI technology helps to personalize the experience of finding and booking tour and trips. It even recommend to make accurate prediction of your favorite restaurant based on your web search and purchase history. Okay, and within the video you're supposed to see is Sarah. Right? Sarah is a frequent traveler, and she made some purchase in Istanbul in the past. Okay? So the next time when Sarah goes to Istanbul, the AI system will be able to detect her plan and accurately recommend some of her favorite merchant in Istanbul based on her purchase history. Okay, especially those merchants that are having offering discounts. Okay, and the AI system can also help predict and recommend Sarah to her favorite places if she goes someplace else. And this prediction come from analyzing other users that have a similar interest to Sarah. As Sarah and people like her are put into similar category within the AI system. Okay, so basically accurate prediction and smart prediction from the system. Okay, next slide. Okay, next we have is IoT or Internet of Things. IoT is the short form. Okay, IoT are gadgets equipped with microprocessors that are digitally connected, okay, allowing them to be controlled from the internet. Okay, the video that you're supposed to see is the implementation of IoT in a restaurant. Okay, wireless sensors are placed all over the restaurant premise to report condition in real time. The IoT can monitor all critical business operation in one enterprise created platform, meaning that you will be collaborating with the supplier, and the supplier will monitor your business operation as well, giving recommendation as well, reports as well as recommendation. Okay, and IoT can track and generates actionable data that can be used to improve restaurant operation. Okay, these include optimizing lighting, refrigeration, energy resources, inventory, supply chain, and the likes. In general, IoT enables businesses to achieve the highest standard of productivity and efficiency and take control of their business operation. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, and then we have augmented reality, or AR in short form. Okay, augmented reality, or AR, okay, combines real-world experience with virtual elements. Okay, within the video actually shows a restaurant utilizing AR program, okay, in which they call it menu AR, okay, which can be installed within your handphone actually. Okay, it contains a three-dimensional image of the real dishes. Okay, customer can actually see the texture of the meal and also their ingredient and size. Okay, the augmented menu is created by photographing the real dishes from different angles inside a special box. Then a 3D artist will create the three-dimensional image of the dishes. In the end, the dish is no longer on a flat picture on a paper menu, but rather a modern virtual offer of the product. Okay, the food on the apps looks so real, consumer can expect what they will get exactly when they order the dishes. Okay, all right. Next slide, please. Okay, customer experience 2.0. Okay, this is generally customer 2.0 generally summarize the new age, the new era of customer experience utilizing the latest ICT innovation. Okay, customer fondness of the latest ICT innovation has transformed the way they plan, research, and purchase their trip. Okay, from the preliminary stage where they book their tickets, okay, to pre-travel formality, to in-travel experience and post-travel services. These travelers expect a world of convenience enabled by technology. Okay, tourism service provider are aspired to automate customer experience as much as possible, and at the same time provide communication with the client on a completely different level beyond the usual business tool. Customers do not need to look for a formal way to communicate with a service provider. They can actually use social media, for instance, to get in touch with any person they need. And a customer can conveniently and instantly react to the actions of the company. For example, they can criticize the service online and they can praise the service online and thereby help to make the service better. Okay, next slide. Next slide, please. Okay. All right. So basically, you have seen some of the latest ICT implementation in tourism setting. Actually, the video is supposed to show, I think most of you have heard about this ICT innovation, but the implementation within the tourism setting is something that I think I really want the audience to actually see. But of course, these involve changes, and changes always create challenges. Indeed, tourism service provider need to adapt to these new technology trends. Okay, and it is definitely not an easy task. The slide highlight, actually, generally this slide will highlight attributes associated to challenges faced by tourism service provider when adapting to the new ICT trends. Okay, the first one is knowledge. Okay, the first attributes. Knowledge plays a basic role in production and innovation. Okay, in the case of tourism, knowledge bases are continuously evolving and being renewed. Okay, the emergence of a new knowledge bases is usually followed by the emergence of new actor a new service provider, new relations, and new market based on transformation of existing market. Okay, the actors that we are talking about can come from a high-tech computer companies that offer programs like three-dimensional programs, a microprocessor, digital connectivity programs, okay, database management programs. It could be even mobile phone applications and many more. Okay, so the second attributes is network. Okay, in the past, the tourism sector was organized by system of fixed commission, linking all the agents, the airlines, the GDS system, and travel agencies. Nowadays, the system has been dissolved. Not completely dissolved, but going into that way. And the tourism sector is now ruled by competition. Competition over access to client induced by the latest ICT innovation. Travel agencies and airline that previously closely associated through a stable system of commission now have to compete for the same customer. Okay, so things are changing. Okay, and the third attributes will be demand. Okay, as for demand, the unique mode of informing consumers used to be a top-down model of information from supplier to consumers. But the availability of the latest ICT innovation has introduced new modes, what we call info mediation. Okay, this refers to exchange of information between customers and online forums, okay, between customers and personal websites and pages dedicated to comments and advice. Okay, so basically, consumers they can take on the task of research and bundling what previously were the exclusive domain of travel agencies and tour operators, okay, through direct interaction with service providers and suppliers. Okay, so next slide, please. Okay, so approaches. Okay, so approaches are more like a recommendation. Okay, what are the things that company or tourism service provider need to do in order to better adopt to ICT innovation. Okay, as for the ICT implementation, many tourism services provider actually do not know where entrepreneurs who are not ICT oriented. Okay, maybe they feel that they don't have enough money. Those are another cases. They need to establish network with high-tech people like 3D graphic designer, software designer, mobile apps designer, database manager, and the likes. One suggestion is by participating within the ICT related tourism event or trade fair might give tourism companies opportunity to meet these high-tech people and strike a deal with them. This kind of trade fair and event brings together major ICT actors related to tourism industry. For instance, innovative startup companies, high-tech, small and medium-sized enterprises, large multinationals, and academicians. Okay, so, and then for the second point, the new age traveler wants to gain experience, recognition, and value by saving, earning, and learning while traveling. Okay, by using the ICT innovation, they will design and customize their journey on the go. Okay, and a tourism service provider who adopt a proactive customer service and connect with their customer at multiple levels and channels to drive a real-time personalized experience, definitely will win the brand loyalty of this new travelers, age of travelers. Okay, and the mixture of a digital-driven and human-assisted approach is very much necessary, okay, especially when unexpected things happen. This is to provide more meaningful personal management and to provide the traveler with good experience, okay, with a high touch service. Okay. And then for the third item, okay, owner of a tourism service provider needs to apply entrepreneurial orientation within their business operation. Okay, entrepreneurial orientation refers to the decision-making styles, processes, and methods that guide a firm activity and proclivity to explore new opportunities. Okay, through these objectives, entrepreneurial orientation manifests itself through a firm tendency to accept innovativeness, risk-taking, as well as proactive. Okay, so by implementing entrepreneurial orientation within entrepreneurs, within Bali, for example, it is highly predicted that owners of a tourism service provider will develop a style, tendency, and as well as willingness to adopt the latest ICT innovation and become relevant to the latest trends. Okay? And for the last point, the government, okay, involvement of the related government bodies. Okay, government policy affecting ICT can have a major effect on achieving the latest ICT adoption and implementation. Okay, there are key areas where the government need to establish. The first one is legal. The second one is like regulatory. Okay, the third one is budgetary, and as well as policy. Policy framework to ensure that the latest ICT make an optimal contribution to tourism business development. Okay, most tourism service provider will be more likely needing assist within ICT application and content development, okay, to become more resilient. The government need to measure progress achieved out of the ICT implementation. That is one important thing. Okay, maybe help them to install the ICT innovation and monitor them for quite some time, right? For the first year, for the first 6 months, for another 1 year. Okay, so to see how things progress. Okay, and then attention also should focus on the scope of licensing, competition law, access regulation, platform regulation, and a universal service obligation. Okay, other than that, in my opinion, government also need to focus on budgetary areas. Okay, to ensure tourism service provider are monetarily capable of adopting to the latest ICT innovation. Okay, I think this same situation in Malaysia. We have so many SMEs or small or micro companies that are unable to adopt to the latest ICT or latest technology. To me, in my personal view, the government have to foresee this and have to give a helping hand, especially within the monetary, in terms of monetary. Okay, so that's it from me in regard to the latest ICT innovation trends and adoption approach. Can we move to the next slide? Okay, these are the references, and I strongly suggest that you browse through this website. And it has lots of information in regard to my presentation. Also, actually, the video is also available there as well. If you cannot watch the video now, you can browse through the fourth reference, RefMind, the tourism trend, the latest opportunity. All the videos are there, and what I want you to see is the implementation of this technology within the ICT, within the tourism setting. Okay, so as for the ending, I would like to welcome all to travel to Penang. I would like to invite everybody to travel to Penang, where I came from. Well, the island might not be as popular as Bali, definitely, but Penang is well known for its food delicacies and as well as its cultural heritage. And there are so many tourism events being organized throughout the year. Looking forward to meet you there. If you ever go there, please contact me. Okay, I will give you my email as well as my phone number. Okay, so ayuh kalian semua, mari berlibur ke Penang. Okay, atau dalam bahasanya Pulau Pinang. Okay, so thank you very much. That's it from me. I'll pass you back to the moderator, Dr. Irma Rahuda. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Mr. Saiful Bahri Mokamal, for your presentation, and this is very interesting insights. And then I have learned several things from your presentation. the latest ICT, information and communication technology, has made the tourism industry to rely on various and changing knowledge bases, and the emerge of the knowledge base is usually followed by the emergence of new actor, new relation, and new market base. So some information or some information communication technology in tourism that I note from your presentation is video search and video control that you have been described just now. So virtually reality tourism, for example, for travel industry, it is very quick to adopt virtual reality, such an effective way for marketer to give them a taste of what they can expect, as you said. So a robot, a chatbot, and automation for delivering excellent customer service. Also, artificial intelligence now is, I think, is finding application everywhere, which is very easy now when we are traveling somewhere. By the artificial intelligence, we can ask more about it. So, Internet of Things, IoT, that the guest is easy to book activities such as requests. For example, they are using the smartphone application, and augmented reality for museum, right? Allowing visitor to view artifact with original appearance as a virtual overlay. So that's all from the information and communication technology. I've learned something. Also, of course, with the new information and communication technology, there are a new trend challenge in knowledge, network, and demand. And we also need to adjust or adapt according to the new trend challenge, approached by new trend with the innovation, tourist company, entrepreneurship, orientation, and government involvement. That is the most important for all of that, our efforts. So I would like to remind again, if you have a question for our online participant, you can hold on to that, as we will have question and answer session at the end after all three speakers delivered their presentation. But while you can type the question in the chat box, it's easier for us after all the three speakers delivery their representation. Yeah, so we're going to discuss it later. So once again, before I move on to our last speaker, so please enjoy the video Wonderful Indonesia, and thank you so much, Mr. Saiful Bahri Muhammad Kamal. Okay, so now we are going to continue our fourth and the last speaker, Professor Dr. DRS Inyuman Sunarta MSI. It's very honored to be your moderator, Prof. Sunarta. So I hope you is on the line already. So allow me to introducing your CV. I'm very grateful that I can share also your notable achievements. Professor Sunarta is our senior lecturer in the tourism study program, tourism faculty, Udayana University. So he was our former dean of the Faculty of Tourism of Udayana University since 2018 to 2021. Right now, he is the coordinator doctoral program study in Udayana, Faculty of Tourism, and he served in various roles in tourism development in Bali as member of Environmental Impact Assessment Commission of Tabanan Regency since 2010 to present, and also member of the Research and Development Association of the Indonesia Tourism Higher Education Association since 2018 to present, and member of the Regional Tourism Promotion Board of Tabanan Regency since 2021 until now, and a vice chairman of the Regional Tourism Promotion Board Bali Province since 2021 and until now. It's good to know that several publication and research studies have been conducted related to the development of tourism in tourism geography, relationship with natural resources, especially water and land, including studies of carrying capacity of water in supporting the development of tourism in Bali. So many notable achievements, and we are so proudly to give a warm welcome for our Professor Sunarta. Hello, Professor Sunarta.
Hello, Irma. Thank you.
Good
Irma.
morning. Good morning. Okay, time is yours, Professor. We are eager to waiting for your presentation. I believe this is very interesting.
Okay, Irma, thank you very much. You are my wonderful moderator now.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Please, let me say before I explain my topic now, I would like to say, please, moderator, look at the running picture about us. It is I would like to explain to you, we are in the black hair, and now we are in the white hair. This is I don't know. It is the accidental experience, not the planning. You have to explain to the audience. Like I would like to remind the audience. My topic here now is regenerative intelligence as the basis for the getting the future tourism. It's not my research. It's just my idea. I'm looking for the several material in the several resources, and then I collaborated with what I know and what I have, and then my idea is I produce my title without the book. What I mean, if we're talking about maybe the regenerative intelligence, maybe some people say with the book, and then out of the book. And what are my idea here? I produce my idea without the book. This is amazing. Then I know the picture, already know about the picture, G20. There are a lot of leaders in the world come here in Bali. What they have done at the time of the G20 in Bali, I believe it's not only the economic, it's not only the business, but we're talking about also about future, about the future. So now we are talking about the future tourism. Next slide. So before I explain my idea, let I say it about the basic reflection. This is in the right side is our planet condition. And I would like to compare with the tourism paradigm. The left side, life is like the ocean. People who are not careful rowing the boat, crazy to keep the steering wheel, then they will be shipwrecked and roll over by the wave. It is Buya Amka. Buya Amka is the role model for many people in Indonesia. He also realized that the sea getting malignant. If we are not careful, then not only the human will be blown away, but also the earth will be crushed. This is the belief of that. In Jakarta, I heard 40% that area is getting in below of the sea level. It's not only caused by the sea level increase, but also by the excessive groundwater withdrawal, so that the soil surfaces decrease. Several rivers in China have a decrease of drastically, so they cannot run power plant optimally. The Amazon forest is burning. Some companies have cut down the forest and replaced it with the corn crop. The increase in the earth temperature is said to have reached 1.1 Celsius degree and will increase exponentially in the future. The earth is getting warmer due to climate change. The consequences are increasingly being felt on earth. This is the reminding. Some people, the famous star film, I have starred in a lot of the science fiction movie, he said. And let me tell you something. Climate change is not science fiction. This is a battle in the real world. It is impacting us right now. It is Arnold Schwarzenegger. And also, Dr. Greg Ansel and the Dr. Robin Martin, the sea coral expert, they said in his research result that the myth of the sea coral in the world rising 1% per year. It's caused by an increasing the geothermal energy. Some people, the famous people, already said also, when the last tree is cut, the last fish is caught, and the last river is polluted. When the air is sickening, you will realize that too late, that wealth it's not bank account, and that you cannot touch the money. It is only a bond soil. What is the point of the condition of our planet? It's not well anymore. If in the right side, I have also the tourism paradigm. Tourism is like a ghost that not only lay the golden eggs, but also fold their own nest. What's the risk about the statement how can in 1982? And then the tourism is an industry whose survive the largely determined by the good and the bad of the environmental, not only the natural, but also the social and cultural and custom also. But in sustaining its life, tourism will require resources, natural and human resources, and then produce the waste. If all of the tourism industry is produce the waste, you can imagine about it. What happened about our environmental, especially in Bali. But in the end of the process, in fighting over the scarce resources, tourism almost never lose. In fact, it always win. It is Jeffrey Wall, 1982 also. Next slide. What does it mean about the last slide? It's remind to us the change of the world. Our world is already changing. My colleague, Dr. Saiful from Mara, thank you Dr. Saiful, for your presentation. Your presentation is make me easier to explain the audience about my idea. Thank you very much, Doctor. So we are now the artificial intelligence. The Dr. Saiful has already said about the artificial intelligence. This is our here now. We call it metaverse. And yet what we have to go in the future goal. We would like to make the future goal is the quality of tourism. And then I know about in metaverse now condition, life happen, population and waste increasing, natural resources decrease, food decrease, artificial food is happen, sugar is artificial, rice artificial baby, but I don't know. What about the artificial husband? I don't know about that. Sorry. In all of artificial life, in metaverse, human life full of illusion. And most of them want to be returned to the real world. It's mean back to universe, back to natural. So I don't talking about the universe and artificial intelligence. I would like to talking about the universe. We call it the ecological intelligence. What is the ecological intelligence? Is that a person's ability to understanding and solve the problem related in their environmental, including understanding the relationship between the human and nature, and how to maintain, the balance of the nature. The second, the ability of the understand how the ecosystem works and how the human can live in harmony with nature. This is the ecological intelligence. What is the importance of the ecological intelligence in the future? The first is that maybe I think is climate change. A problem being faced by the humanity today. Ecological intelligence have understanding how climate change occur and how human can contribute to reducing its impact. The second, sustainable use of natural resources. Humans depend on natural resources for their survival. Ecological intelligence help humans to understanding how natural resources can be used in a sustainable manner to ensure their survival for the future. Third, environmental protection. The environmental is the source of the life for the human. So it is important to protect and maintain the sustainability of ecosystem. Ecological intelligence help the human to understanding how human can live in harmony with the nature and how we can maintain the balance of the nature. The fourth, the sustainable development. Development is an important factor in social and economic process, but it can also have the negative impact on the environment. Ecology intelligence help the human to understanding how development can be carried out in a sustainable manner. So the human can be guarantee sustainable development in the future. Survivability. Ecology intelligence help us to understanding how will we survive in the future. This is important because we all depend on the environmental for our survival. The benefit for the future development of the tourism in the ecology intelligence. The first is the sustainable growth. The second is the environmental protection. The third, improving the quality of our service. And the fourth, increasing tourism satisfaction. And the end of the benefit is the improvement to the business reputation. Let's connect the regenerative intelligence atau regenerative tourism. Regenerative intelligence, in my mind, all of the stakeholders have the same positive impact. If we're talking about the regenerative tourism, regenerative tourism move beyond the sustainable and responsible tourism. Regenerative tourism represents a sustainable way of traveling and discovering new places. The main goal is for tourists to have a positive impact on tourism destination, meaning tourists live to tourist destination in the better condition than when they found the destination. So it means the destination will be better than before. A concept that goes beyond the not damaging. The environmental and aim to the actively revitalize and regenerate it, resulting in the cycling positive impact on local community and economies. What it means? It means is sustainable regeneration. Regenerative tourism have the idea that tourists should live the better place than before. In comparison about with the sustainable tourism, living something is to remain the same. In other words, causing no collateral damage. So, next. 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 Yes. Yeah. This is what I mean about the regenerative intelligence. The screw is it means that the positive impact. We see the regenerative positive impact. The positive impact increase day by day, exponentially. So it means if we implemented the generative tourism, we just know about the result. We will have a biggest positive impact. Let me say about the next slide. This is our idea about the regenerative tourism. In the left side, what we're running about tourism in the future until now, it is a conventional. In the right side, what my idea about the regenerating about the tourism in the future. But what about the sustainable? What I said before, the sustainable between the conventional and regenerating tourism. We have been talking about for the long time about the sustainable tourism. 2 days ago, we talked about that in the several meeting. But sustainable tourism never come until now. I worry about 10 or 20 years ago, we're still talking about what the sustainable tourism is. It means something wrong about it, about us as a human being. So that what should we do? We have to be implemented about the generative tourism. In generative tourism, we have to design the tourism with the natural system. We have a make approach, a different approach. We call it not only the holistic thinking, but also we call it the SHAPE approach. SHAPE approach is mean systemic approach, interdisciplinary approach. What do you call it? The participatory approach. The holistic, not only the holistic. I would like, if we implemented the generative of tourism, I hope we will have a tourism quality in the future. Next slide. This is my idea. The quality tourism variable as a stakeholder, actor, and quality. Actor priority in tourism. I guess here on the three stakeholders: the tourist, the local community, and the nature. This is a biggest stakeholder what we have in tourism. But we must realize about that. Until now, tourism are positioning more as actor than the local people and the nature. The tourist is everything until now, because the tourists bring a lot of money to come to our destination. I realize that. Even nature has never been used as a stakeholder. Nature is never be used with the stakeholders. So most of the tourist industry forget it about the nature. And then the nature has always been complemented to suffer. As a result, we have seen in Bali the destruction of the natural resources. So my idea is, if we produce about the quality tourism, we have the three cycle: tourist, nature, and local community. Intersection about that, we call it the real of quality tourism. What does it mean? In tourism should be, as a stakeholder, tourism should be the actor, not only the actor, but also tourist should be a quality. Nature, a stakeholder also. It is the actor also, and then it have to be, nature is the quality. Both of the local community. You can know in Bali, if the Balinese is in the actor in Bali, is the local Balinese is the quality in Bali? Not yet, maybe. So that if three of the stakeholder will be quality, will be as an actor, will be as a stakeholder, I believe that the tourism will be the quality in the future. I think, thank you very much. It is my motto, the Natasha. Natasha, nature is a stakeholder and the actor. Thank you. Thank you, moderator, Irma.
Okay. Thank you very much for your presentations, Professor Sunata, and your presentation is very informative lecture and interesting insights. So the concept of the regenerative intelligence as the basis for getting the future tourism require us to consider regenerative principle, right? So namely considering long-term social, environmental, and economic impact. This principle can be implemented through the use of artificial technology and analytic and data analytic and other technology-based solution, which can help us understand the impact of existing tourism policies and practices. As you present just now, several things, it's very important to share that this is principle can be implemented through the use of artificial technology, data analytic, and other technology-based solution. So which can help us understand the impact of the existing tourism policy and practice. In addition, regenerative principle can also help us overcome global challenges such as climate change, biodiversity, and dependence of limited resources. In practice, regenerative, as I understand, regenerative intelligence can be applied by building collaboration between various stakeholders, such as a local community, tourism, and government. Last, in addition, the use of artificial intelligence technology and analytical data can help us understand the impact of the existing tourism policies and practices and create technology-based solutions that can help us achieve regenerative goal in tourism development. So thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with all of us today. Thank you, Professor Sunarta. Okay, have a good day. Then now we are opening up the floor for question and answer. We still have 30 minutes left to do the question and answer. Please tell us for the online audience which speaker you want to ask and briefly ask your question. I would like to remind we have 3 speakers. You might be forget the name, but one is from Dr. Udita Ramanayake. Secondly, from Mr. Saiful Bahri Moh-Kamal, and the last is Professor Sunarta. So please tell us again which speaker you want to ask and briefly ask your question. And now I would like to give a chance for online participant if anyone have any question. Thank you. I think there is a question. Yeah, I think one question from Amin Tohari, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay, but I'm not sure for who speaker that this question he asked. So from the chat box, I got the question about how the method creating a case for innovation acceleration in the Bali tourism building industry in the era society 5.0 in the next 2023-2045. This is about innovation acceleration. I think this is important to discuss. And what do you think, Dr. Udita Ramanayake? This is for Dr. Udita? This is for Dr. Udita? No? Can you explain again, Mr. Amin Tohari? This question is for who? I'm waiting in the chat box, or you can directly pop on to the screen. Thank you. While I'm waiting, I will ask another information. If you have any question, please, you have to select, or you have to tell us which speaker you want to ask and directly briefly ask your question. Anyone? There is a question? Any question? Okay, this is for the all speaker. Okay. Well, they said that is for all speaker. They asking for your perspective. Maybe for the speakers, it's very honored who can ready to answer this question. Correct. The question is about how the method creating a case for innovation acceleration in the Bali tourism building industry in era society 5.0 in the next 2023 to 2045. Maybe Dr. Udita can help to answer, or Mr. Saiful or Professor Sunata? There is asking what the methods. It is methods to create a case for innovation, acceleration. I think just now Mr. Saiful just informed that to innovation acceleration right now, people a lot using from ICT, as I understand, just not ICT, information and communication technology, to some info from the ICT, like virtual realities, tourism, and so on.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Basically, I would like to say, first, I would like to say welcome to Prof. Dr. Nyoman Sohata. I tried to type it, you're welcome, but it doesn't go. So I'm saying it now. You're welcome. Actually, your talk on about the using the usage of artificial intelligence to accommodate the preservation is something quite brilliant, because normally people talk about artificial intelligence, they related to technology, but you did something else, the vice versa of it. I think that's quite brilliant. Okay, answering the question about the how to innovate acceleration, I think I did mention about the things, the recommendation, the approaches for a destination to do is to the mindset of the entrepreneur, especially those from the SMEs, from the micro enterprise. They need to switch into more like entrepreneurial orientation, where they have the high tendency to apply innovativeness. They are willing to take the risk to venture into new service and product that is more ICT oriented. And other than that, I think, like I mentioned previously, the government. Okay, I think this is just my point of view, because a specialized minister, for example, that monitor digital development, maybe something to do with tourism, should be appointed, because if there is a minister and issues like ICT can be brought up to the top management. And then for the future generation, for the current student, because we have so many students now, I think for local university to develop a study plan that is more implementation of a digital tourism study, I think should be done. Okay? Because, for example, for travel agent, or if you study travel agent on ticket reservation, flight reservation, ticketing, or maybe handling tour, maybe can input some digital element in it, so that not necessarily to study microprocessor or to design a software. No, just that to acknowledge the latest ICT implementation that can be done during a tour, and maybe during handling the customer service. Yeah, I think that is another segment in tourism that need enhancement, because there are market who fancy digital implementation within customer service. So basically, from the stage of student learning tourism, digital implementation, they need to learn about the importance of ICT and digital implementation within the tourism industry, and to have sort of like a major, even if they study computer science, there is a minor where they can study computer science to cater tourism needs and tourism industry needs. Okay, so basically, if we can produce things like that, then we can create a generation that are really ICT innovation oriented, and of course the application can start from there. Okay, so I think that's within one aspect we can do that. We can do that. People in Bali can do that to foster the implementation of ICT innovation. Okay.
I hope Mr. Amin Tohari, the answer is can answer your question. This is can answer your question. So I thought that the mindset of entrepreneur also, Mr. Saiful, should be related to ICT now, and the stakeholder also implemented the ICT, because now the ICT, as you mentioned on your presentation, including virtual reality, tourism, robot chatbot automation, it is play a big role in this recent time, right? Okay, thank you for your question, Mr. Saiful Bahri. Yeah, now Professor Sunata would like to answer also for this question. Please, Mr. Sunata.
Thank you. I would like to answer maybe the question is innovative acceleration for the future tourism in Bali, especially because he talked about the case in Bali. But what I know in Bali there are a lot of result of the research about the tourism in Bali. But the question is, we don't know what it's the Bali we want for the future. This is we have to be the same perception about it. In the future, I don't know. It's still like the now. Some people I worry about when the tourists come to Bali after the COVID. Some people in Bali said, it is good. There are a lot of tourists here. The same with the before COVID. This is my main question, of course, because if we would like to running the tourism in Bali before COVID, the same with the before COVID, it is not good for Bali. I think that when we have the COVID, this good for Bali to rethinking their tourism future development. Maybe we have a wrong in the future. So that the same perception, it's mean, who is the stakeholder here in Bali? If we would like to develop the tourism development in the future, we have to know who is the stakeholders. It is the government. It's not only government, of course. It's not only what we call it, the academies, of course. There are a lot of stakeholders here in Bali, but my idea, we have to choose the natural resources as a stakeholder also, because if the natural resources as stakeholder, I believe the negative impact of the tourism development in Bali will be decreased. And then if the regenerative tourism will be implemented in Bali, I hope also the positive impact of tourism in Bali have a lot of people in Bali, a lot of stakeholders in Bali, not only the government, not only the industry, but also the farmers, the naturalists, and so on. This is my opinion. Thank you.
Right. So I hope the answer can also answer your question anyway. So let me make a little bit summary for your question. For innovation acceleration in Bali, especially Bali tourism buildings industry, Professor Sunata states that Bali should know what Bali want as their future tourism, right? So what they want, and from many perspectives, for example, a stakeholder, society, and government as well. It is not only stakeholder, society, and government, but it is including the natural resources as a stakeholder. Like that, ya, Bapak, ya? Like that, Professor? Okay. So, for the next question, thank you for your answer, everyone, our speaker. So we still have a question. Question for, okay, question is actually for Dr. Aaron Xiao, but Dr. Aaron Xiao was leaving the online seminar, but we will answer after that. I will ask the committee to contact the Dr. Aaron Xiao. And then this is question also to Miss Dr. Udita. Dr. Udita, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, this is from Jeffrey Prata. He asks you, what are the main obstacles in the development of the tourism industry in Indonesia, in your perspective? I know you are not Indonesian, you're living in China, you study in French, but what are the main obstacles in your point of view in the development of tourism industry in Indonesia? Well, Indonesia is big, and we are struggle how to develop the model of Indonesian tourism. And then the second one, there is a 4 question. What are the things that hinder? What's hinder? Coba cek dulu ya. Okay. What is the speaker's point of view about the step to save tourism in Indonesia? They will ask your perspective out of Indonesia to answer this question. And the last, what is a university role in reviving tourism village from your perspective? About your perspective. This the gentleman would like to ask your perspectives about what is the main obstacles to develop of the tourism industry in Indonesia. What's the point of view to save tourism in Indonesia, and what is university role in reviving tourism village from your perspective? Thank you very much.
Okay.
I'm sure.
Okay, thank you for that question. Actually, I have to acknowledge first, this is kind of quite outside of my expertise and knowledge. So basically, I would like to give a general answer, rather I feel like the other 2 speakers might be quite on this topic. So if I may answer this question as a kind of an outsider, what I feel that tourism Indonesia the communication could be a little bit target what they can offer, because for example I feel there's a complexity what tourism in Indonesia can offer in terms of culture or leisure. I know that there are, when I was in New Zealand, there were lots of even Australians like to, once they retire, to go there to Bali to stay there. So I feel in terms of communication, targeting different destinations, right? So I feel in that way, it could be improved, like what we really can do when we come to Indonesia, and especially in terms of COVID-19, the post-COVID-19 situation. There's a now world is opening up, but in terms of as I really interested about accessible tourism, inclusive tourism, what are the options these people have, how much accessible the natural attractions. So in terms of information, I feel like that can be improved. So that's my perspective, but it's very general because I can't comment on this issue. I mean, because this is completely like out of my expertise and what I have done. So sorry about that, but that's what I can share. Thank you.
Ina telepon aku berselapu keluarga.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Udita, for answering the question. So I think to face the obstacle of development in tourism industry in Indonesia, the communication is actually the very important way to solve it, because sometimes we lack of the communication in any way. So target and the marketing is important, as well as a significance to develop of the tourism, right? So the rest of that, of course, this is out of your actually expertise, but just a perspective. I hope Bapak Jeffrey, Mr. Jeffrey Prata is happy with the answer, right? Anyway, let's check again. Is there, if anyone still have any questions? So if you still have, we still waiting here, but the time is running very fast. Since there are no more questions from the audience, and I would like to wrap up today's webinars. Ada lagi satu? Okay, once more. And for who? Okay, this is the questions to the question from Nur Azazi, and then asking a question for speaker who? No, okay. So the question is, there is still one question. Okay, the question is about how are we collaborating tourism industry development in the local village tourism at all province. This is question to all speakers. Okay, Dr. Udita, are you still there? And Mr. Saiful, also Professor Sunarta. I would like to reading again the questions. How are we collaborating tourism industry development with local village tourism at all provinces? It is very tough question, gentlemen, I know. Also, we're running out of time. Okay, I would like to invite maybe Dr. Udita spontaneously would like to answer these questions. Also, Mr. Saiful Bahri.
I think I can try that.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
In regard to
this is actually for me a tough question.
really tough question.
Tourism industry.
Okay. Generally, I think question related to the local community. Okay, what the tourism can contribute. I mean, generally, hold on, I'll look back the questions. Okay, development of local village. Maybe for my answer to the community, to the local community, because I think within a destination, there will be local people from the community who involved tourism industry, being a travel agent, being a service provider, are competing with among themselves to strive to appease the same customer. Just that, to me, for local people who are most probably from the SMEs or micro enterprises, I think they will strive. They will I don't know how to say, not suffer. They will be left behind if this new system is being implemented. I would like to see the interfirm relation to be reorganized and a new system that take over the fixed commission system to be implemented. And cooperation, which means cooperation with a direct competitor, which is among the local entrepreneurs, need to be re-established rather than we totally ignore them and look into ICT. We need to help them implement the ICT, that they can be among the main player within the industry. Okay, or else I think we will see many, especially small companies or micro companies, which consist of those from the local community, do not have access to the latest innovation and unable to compete with the tourism industry. We do not want a popular destination like Bali being monopolized by maybe a multi corporation or big companies from another country, but we want the Bali to being able to raise up the standard of living of the local people through tourism. I think that should answer a little bit of it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Saiful Bahri, for your answer, and I hope also the answer that this can answer the question. But however, the most important is we should have integration of a local entrepreneurs and a local community to solve of competition, and then also the the commission system, for example, because they are compete each other by that when they are open the destination or the attraction in their place, for example. Is it correct, Mr.? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Maybe Dr. Udita would like to share your answer about this. What the collaboration? Once again, what is the question? What is the question? Again, I forgot. Yeah. I have one. Collaborating tourism industry development. How we collaborating tourism in industry development with the local villages?
Okay, thank you for that question. But I can share there is a role of education as well in terms of this. Yeah, that's a kind of some aspect to it, what I feel in collaborating tourism, because tourism is a kind of a multidisciplinary industry. It has many other supportive industries as well. So when you're thinking about a kind of East Asian context, that language could be a one key barrier sometimes addressing tourist needs, arrivals in terms of information. So I think that when we're thinking about villages, actually it's a key aspect. I feel that education in terms of these tertiary institutions or training these hospitality workers, right? So that would be key thing, that area which kind of empower people as well in terms of their income. So I feel what I think kind of education, there's a big role to play here in kind of rural kind of revitalization in terms of tourism. That's what I feel. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so still that we have to be considered with some of the obstacles, for example, many supporting industry as a support system, right? So elaboration of education in terms of tourism. Yeah. Okay. From Prof. Sunarto, do you have any comment to answer the question?
Yeah, thank you
so much, Dr. Udita.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Irma. Yeah, I think if we would like to make a collaboration between tourist industry and local people, this is have to, because who is responsible about the tourism development in their destination? Udita is already said about the key person. Who is the responsible about the tourism development in the one of the destination, especially in Bali, at least? I think the local people. For example, maybe if we have the tourism development in the beach, but I know in the beach, in the coastal area, there are a lot of fishermen there. If we would like to develop the tourism in their coastal area, the fisherman is the number one, the key person who is responsible about that. So that I would like to ask, if we would like to make the tourism industry will be collaborated with the local people, we have to. But the tourist industry, the first we would like to looking for who is the stakeholder there, the government, the local people, the tourism industry, and so on. So that if you make a collaboration between tourism industry with the local village, it means maybe most of the tourism people take place in the coastal area in Bali. Right. Most of the tourism people need the vegetable maybe in your village in Bedugul, Irma maybe.
Yeah.
We have a lot of for a long time is already collaboration between the tourism industry and the local village in the Bedugul area. For what? Bedugul area, the local people in Bedugul area produce the vegetable there. The tourism industry use the vegetable from the local people. This is this is part of our collaboration. But the point focal is the point of what I would like to say. We have to know first who is our stakeholder in tourism industry. It's not only local people. It's not only who is what we're running about the tourism industry. It's not only the government. It's not only the academician and so on. All of the people, all of the all of the stakeholder in tourism industry should be collaborative. So it's mean what I mentioned with my idea. We have to be most of the stakeholder in the tourism industry have to be the actor, have to be quality. This is the same tourism impact what they have. I think so. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. However, I would like to wrap a little bit. Is it must be a good collaboration of tourism and local people to create a responsibility, because the most important is the responsibility. So thank you so much, Professor Sunata. But we have a last question for you. I would like to reading now. I think this is from Gusti Pratnya. Our lecture. So she would like to ask the question for you. The question is about what is the difference between regenerative tourism and a sustainable tourism, and please explain about it. And the second, in your opinion, is regenerative tourism better than sustainable? I think there is something mixed up about the definition of the regenerative and the sustainable. So the floor is yours. Please answer the question, Professor Sunata. Thank you.
Yeah, this is our college, Irma. Who is make a question? Is this our college?
Ibu Pratnya.
Welcome. Sorry, this is our college. I will explain.
I'm sorry, Professor Sunata, I interrupted a little bit. We run out of the time. We would like to finish on time. So with a brief answer to answer this question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, what the differences between regenerative tourism and sustainable? And in your opinion, is regenerative tourism better than sustainable? Thank you.
Yeah, the point is the sustainable tourism, there are no impact. We make the destination, there are no impact if the tourists come to the destination. So if the tourists come to the destination and they leave the destination, there are no impact anymore. But in the generation tourism, we have, if the tourism come to the destination, the tourism will transfer the first step impact in this destination. So it's mean if the tourists come to destination, the tourism in destination will be better than before. But in sustainable tourism, tourism destination will be the same than before. There are no changes there. This is our point. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your answer. I hope our colleague Gusti Pratnya satisfied with the answer from the Professor Sunata. So, however, before I wrap up our international seminar, so no impact to the destination. Sustainable is no impact to the destination. Regenerative is a positive impact to the destination and better than before, right? Okay. I think we finish all the questions, and then I would like to wrap up today's seminars. And first of all, thank you again to all our speakers who share their knowledge and insight with all of us today. So we really appreciate it. Please give another round of applause for our speaker, everyone. Now I would like to pass it on to our MC who will close the event. Thank you and see you again, everyone. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Dr. Udita. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Presentations.
Professor
Have a good day.
Thank you. Our material.
Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back again with me in our last agenda closing session. After following a very insightful presentation from all speakers, we do hope that it may beneficially enrich our knowledge, specifically in creating innovation in tourism industries and education. Before the agenda is officially closed, we remind you to click the attendant link once again to visit the chat box to click the attendance link that is shared by the committee in the chat box. Again, thank you so much for the sharing and the thoughts in this wonderful occasion. For that, on behalf of the organizing committee, we would like to hand in a virtual certificate of appreciation for all of the invited speakers. Okay, the committee now is getting ready for sharing the virtual certificate of appreciation to all the invited speakers. For the first certificate will be virtually handed in to Dr. Aaron Xiao from Griffith University. Thank you so much for sharing your perspective in this beautiful day. And then the second certificate will be delivered to Mr. Udita Ramanayake, PhD from Hainan University, Arizona State University, Joint International Tourism College. Well, thank you so much for your valuable contributions in this event. And the third certificate will be virtually handed in to Mr. Saiful Bahri Mohamad from University Technology Mara. We are so honored to have you here. Thank you so much. And our last certificate will be delivered to Mr. Professor Nyoman Sunarta from Udayana University. Thank you so much for your insightful sharing, Professor. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we also would like to hand in a certificate of appreciation to our great moderator, Ibu Dr. Irma Rayuda. Okay, the certificate of appreciation is also handed it to our great moderator. Thank you so much for making the sharing session run smoothly. And once again, thank you so much to all speakers and all moderators for your great contribution to this agenda. Have a round of applause to all of us. Once again, thank you so much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before this international seminar is officially closed, the certificate awarding session ending the whole series of the events. We have to say goodbye right now. Once again, thank you so much to the Honorable Dean, all invited speakers, moderators, and all wonderful participants for your participation. We do apologize for any inconveniences occurred during the seminar. And on behalf of the organizing committee, I am Denny saying goodbye to you. We look to see you in the next occasion. And I end this international seminar with Om Santi, Santi, Santi Om. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Can you hear it? Song of the universe. The voice is calling me. It's because of our past in a place before this time. They hold answers to who we are. They know where we come from. But why are they calling and asking me to feel the sacred land? Java.
Recording stopped.
This land has so many secrets and stories to tell us. Its everlasting beauty connecting us with our past and future. Oh, Mother Earth and Father of the universe, can you hear us? These are offerings from our heart. Shines in every creature. It lives in every being. I'm ready for this magical journey of my life.